Hello, a very good welcome to Inside the Dressing Room powered by Extreme. I'm your host Dhaka, and with me I have a resident expert, Shaikh Ahmed. But before going to him, I'm going to talk about something very interesting. European football is having its off-season, so-called, but clubs are busy playing FIFA Club World Cup. But most of the clubs are busy preparing for the upcoming season. And as we all know, as football fans, that players do not get a very long weekend or a holiday, apart from maybe Lamine Yamal. Let's talk about Lamine first. Shaikh, I'm a bit worried that Lamine is having his holidays in Brazil with Neymar. Are you? Is Neymar a very good influence on somebody?
সব মশার বিরুদ্ধে সুরক্ষা দিতে এলো বসুন্ধরা এক্সট্রিম অ্যারোসল মশার বিরুদ্ধে এক্সট্রিম সুরক্ষা
He can learn what mistakes he shouldn't do. So in that way, it's a good influence. So, but yeah, this is the time when players should have a proper rest because they had a 10-month long season. So they need few rest time so that their body can regenerate and they can really recover very well and can move forward for the next season.
Right. Like a lot of players are already getting prepared for the upcoming season, and one of them is our very own superstar, Hamza. And he has joined the preseason camp of Leicester, and the photos are fantastic. We've seen on the media, Leicester's official media, that Hamza is very serious and regularly doing the preseason. Very good news for Bangladesh. But Shaikh, my point is, where are the Bangladeshi local footballers and what are the clubs doing?
That's a very big question because when we are seeing the European football or even South American football, they have a fixed schedule, and the schedule is so fixed that they even know that what will happen next year in 2026. So this is where our problem lies. Our calendar or schedule was not fixed, even I would say until 2023, because sometimes it was starting in September, sometimes October. We have seen the season starting in December too. So it was going all around the time of the year. So it was very not fixed. So at this moment, what BFF did well, which is last year they started with a fixed calendar and they've stick to it, and now this season they're also sticking to it. So this is something, a new habit that BFF is building towards the local football, but to get the whole habit of having a fixed calendar and work around it will take a bit of time. So why I'm saying that? Because when there is a fixed calendar, the clubs move toward a multiple year contract. So when a club moves into the multiple year contract, the players have the obligation, the clubs have the obligation to do better with the player and have a set rules or set schedule of preseason or something like that. But for Bangladesh, what happens is, as the schedule is not fixed, the players doesn't feel comfortable to do a multiple year contract. Same goes for the club, because they don't know it's a 12-month season or a 13-month season or 11-month season. It's a very confusing stuff. So if the whole calendar is very fixed for each year, then the clubs will start to do that, also the players. So coming back to the original discussion that BFF is trying to make a new calendar. So hopefully if we can have this calendar for the next 2-3 years, then slowly the clubs will be having the faith to go for a multiple year contract. So then we can have a proper preseason, player starting preseason at a proper time, doing exercises, and you can see the activities on that in social media or anywhere else.
Right. Shaikh, that's from BFF's point of view and the club's point of view. What about the players? You deal with a lot of individual players. Bangladeshi players, I'm not talking about the foreign recruits, the local Bangladeshi born and bred footballers, they certainly do have a responsibility now as Bangladesh football is reaching or trying to reach towards a newer height. The responsibility is, I feel, a bit more ever than before, some may say, to keep themselves fit and keep themselves going and to prepare for the upcoming season. I mean, the season may start in September, but Bangladesh will play on October, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Even they can also play in September. I think
September,
not official matches.
Official match, but preparation prep matches. So, what have you heard? What the players are doing? Anything? Any inside scoop?
Not really, because if you think about the current situation, the political or the financial situation of the country, the clubs are not starting their transfer season very well because they have a shortage of funding. I have to say the real facts on the ground.
That's something we talked about in the last episode, right?
What is happening is basically their transfer season is not started yet. Players at this moment doesn't know which club they are going to play for, because they are negotiating with the clubs. So that's the process they are going on with. So they are not sure that should I start doing my preparation for the next season or not. So this is where we are lagging behind as a local structure in Bangladesh football. So as soon as the clubs will start doing the transfer properly, the players will be initiated to start their season. But on the other hand, I think the two clubs who are going to participate in the international competition, which is Dhaka Abahani Limited and Bashundhara Kings, they will start the season early. They have to start around 1st of July or in the middle of July, just to match the intensity of the AFC Challenge League. So we will see a bit of the activity starting in mid-July. So this is for the two clubs, and I think you will see the other clubs starting a bit late, around mid-August or somewhere around that.
Well, Shaikh, that's about two clubs. What about the other, let's say 10 or 12, 15 clubs who regularly play in the top levels of Bangladesh football? Do you think the clubs have proper infrastructure to support a pre-season, or maybe facilities to support the players?
No, the facilities very few. I think if you consider only Mohammedan, then they have a small ground beside their club tent, which they do a bit of the warm up and all those things. And there are other clubs who try to rent some of the fields, and they do the pre-season work. But at this moment the infrastructure is not there. So what the players they do, like the top level players who are playing in the national team, so they know that what level they have to reach, because they have seen the atmosphere, the players they are competing with in international level. So what they do is, like in the pre-season, they have their own calculation in their mind. They are doing that in their home or, like for example, fields where they are very close to their home. So this is the responsibility of their own players. So this is where the accountability or also the inclusiveness of the clubs with the players is missing in our country. So this is something that can be done going forward, where the schedule is fixed, and if the clubs are going for multiple contracts, as I was saying. So in that case, the clubs who will have an obligation to control and to oversee the players, what they are doing. At the same time, the players will have a accountability that yes, I have a multiple year contract, so I should be responsible towards what I am doing.
Right. You talked about the professional clubs, right? Now let's focus a bit on Bafufé a bit more. Bafufé has a lot of underage teams, right? Under 21s, 17s, 15s. What about them? Any activities during this off season? What do they do?
Okay. They have one elite academy where they do all the practice sessions and the trainings all year round. So whenever there is a different age level tournaments, they participate.
Exactly, that's what I was talking about. That now there is no tournament apparently. Anything Bafufé can do or arrange to keep these players on their best fitness or the optimum fitness level?
What they do is, like with the elite academy, they do it all year round. It's always going on, like the women's team. The women's team are they're staying in BFF and
in dorms, right?
Yeah. So the same thing happens with the elite academy. So they do, and they have a different age level of team. So they are practicing all year round. That is going on. Sometimes what happens in the off season is BFF arranges some trials, for open trials for players in the local communities or in the local areas, depending on the age levels. But this year, interestingly, they are doing a trial for 3 days for all the players who are playing overseas.
Exactly.
So that is one new thing that they have added. So this is very much appreciable. Yes, they can find some talents if they can match our level, and if they can do it, and this is a very good platform going forward.
Finally, Shaikh, all the players all over the world, the top players, the Ronaldos, the Messis, they always focus as much as on their game as much as on the fitness. Do you feel Bangladeshi local players, again not talking about the foreign recruits, are as serious with their fitness as these players, these top players? Because all the time, when personally I feel Bangladesh, when they're playing India or in the last match against Singapore, they were a superior fitness side, if I'm not mistaken. Singapore were fitness wise ahead of Bangladesh. India fitness wise were ahead of Bangladesh. How do the players feel about that?
I would not say that players are not serious or not very much into it.
No, I'm not talking about seriousness or taking it lightly per se, but how is the mindset?
Oh, the mindset, from the mindset they are very serious about maintaining this, but the problem lies with the education, the knowledge, because if you can see like coaching methods everywhere, you can find it, but players, what nutrition they have to have, how many hours they have to sleep, what should be the food they should be taking in, these are the information which is not actually available to the players at this moment. For a football player, for example, if I am saying about Cristiano Ronaldo, he has a different set of nutrition and his sleeping cycle. He sleeps 3 hours in the afternoon and he eats salads, and he has a different set of exercise regime and all those things. So, this is the knowledge that is missing for our players. So, they try to achieve that, but it is very hard at times to find those kind of like intakes to take and maintain that level. So, but at least they have come a long way. Like previously, like few years ago, players couldn't like last 70 minutes in a football pitch properly, but nowadays players are very much serious about their own body fitness, and that's why players can last up to 90 minutes fighting for the team. So, it is progressing, but very slowly, but the knowledge has to be shared much more openly to all the players, not only top players, but also starting with the underage players who can like learn from the age of 15 or 14 that what food I should take,
how to take care of their body,
how to take care of body, because this is the only thing that will give them the opportunity to
or the longevity
to the highest level. So, now they have an example that if you are maintaining well, you can at least play until 40. So, this is a very good example of Cristiano Ronaldo. So, players are now getting more serious about their nutrition, their physicality, exercise and pre-season and all those things. So, I think it is a good way they are moving forward, but it will take a bit of time.
Hopefully, Bafufe will prepare well, and hopefully next year we will have a pre-season in Bangladesh too.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Shaq, for your time today.
Thank you.
Folks, that was another episode of Inside the Dressing Room powered by Extreme. I'll be back soon with more discussion topics and sporting issues. Till then, you take care.
For more updates, follow us on Facebook, subscribe our YouTube channel, get the latest update on www.daily-sun.com.